What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showing you guys how to make chicken tinga tostadas. Tinga is a braised chicken with a tomato chipotle sauce. It's smoky. It has a little tiny bit of a kick, so it's family friendly. It's not that hard to make, okay? It just takes a little bit of practice. I'm gonna show you guys how to make it at home. Stick around. Okay, so anytime we're cooking, we always wanna start from the thing that takes the longest to make first. In this case, it will be the chicken. So I'm gonna get my chicken in a pot, and then all I'm gonna do is cover it with water. Okay, and to my chicken, I will add on a couple pieces of white onion, a few garlic cloves, some bay leaves, and a little bit of salt, just to get the chicken going. Once the chicken starts boiling, I'm gonna lower it to a simmer, and if I see any scum rise to the top, I'm gonna just skim that off. So our goal here is not to boil the chicken, but to actually cook it more gently at a lower temperature. So once it starts boiling, I'm gonna lower it down to a simmer, and I'm gonna let it go until the chicken completely cooks all the way through. All right, now that my chicken has started boiling, I'm gonna actually lower it down to a simmer because we wanna poach it again. We don't wanna boil this. And I'm gonna clean off all this scum off the chicken because it does not look good, it does not taste good, and you're gonna get an overall cleaner product if you take the time to remove all this stuff off of it. Don't wanna take the bay leaves off though. I'm gonna leave those in there. So at this point, I have my chicken on low, and it's gonna go for around 20-25 minutes until the chicken is completely cooked through. And once the chicken is completely cooked through, we're gonna cool it down because we're gonna shred it apart. All right, meanwhile my chicken's going, I'm gonna get a pan hot, I'm gonna throw some oil down, and we're gonna get our sauce going. I'm gonna let the oil get a little bit hot before I throw in my ingredients in there. All right, I'm gonna go in with my onion and my garlic. Okay, so essentially what we're doing here is we're building flavor in layers. Browning the onions and the garlic creates deeper, sweeter flavors to caramelization. It's really gonna elevate our sauce to the next level. And I'm not going full on caramelized onions here. We're just getting them we're just putting some color on these. I got my heat at medium high. Okay, so now that I have some nice color on my onion and garlic, I am gonna go in with my Guajillo Chile. And here, I'm just gonna give it a nice little toast to bring out all those natural oils and to get this really aromatic. Remember, dry chilies burn really fast. So this is just a quick toast. Once you see the color changing, we're gonna add in the tomatoes. All right, that smells great. Going in with my Roma Tomatoes. So the tomatoes act as the main body of our sauce. So we really want to let this cook down until they're completely cooked all the way through, really nice and soft. And also remember guys that the recipe is always in the description. Everything's measured out perfectly for you guys to follow along at home. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with my secret ingredient, which is Knorr tomato bouillon. And we're gonna stir it and stir it and stir it because we want the seasoning to sort of bloom and get all incorporated in. And that has already salt in it, so we don't have to season the sauce. Okay, next I'm gonna go in with my oregano. This is Mexican oregano. It's a lot more potent than just regular Greek oregano. If you guys could find the Mexican oregano, I highly recommend it over the regular one. It'll really change the flavor of your sauce, and you'll notice a big difference when using Mexican oregano versus Greek oregano. Next, we're gonna go in with our chipotles. As you can see, we're not just adding everything all at once to the pan, right? We're doing this in layers, we're doing this in steps because we want to build flavors that are going to complement each other, and everything cooks at different stages, okay? If we threw everything in together, the onions wouldn't have a chance to caramelize because there would be way too much liquid in the pan, right? The enemy of browning is liquid, so this is why we're adding everything in stages. Next, we're going to add some water. And finally, we're going to brighten things up with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. I'm going to lower my heat, and I'm going to let it simmer for around 10 minutes until the chilies are completely tender and everything is broken down. All right guys, my thighs have been going for around 20 minutes. I'm just gonna probe them real quick. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's reading 194, 195. These are more than done. At this point, I'm just gonna shut them off. I'm gonna remove them from the liquid so they cool down, and then we're gonna shred them. All right, so I have my sauce going, I got my chicken cooling down. I'm gonna serve my chicken tinga with some tostadas, so I gotta make some beans. And I don't have time to wait a couple hours to make some homemade ones, so we're going with some canned ones. Like I said, no shame in using canned stuff. Use what you got, use your time wisely. If you have time to prep ahead, go ahead and prep ahead. But in a pinch, these work perfectly fine. Get a pan going, get some oil in. You want a healthy amount, right? Because we're refrying them, right? Refried beans, it's in the name. We're gonna throw in a couple of onions, and you want these to be big, okay? Because you don't want them too small, because we're gonna remove them at the end, and we don't want to be fishing through them when they're really tiny. And then we're gonna get some garlic cloves in there. We're gonna let it go. Meanwhile, this is going, I'm gonna drain these beans and get them ready to fry. Okay, here, I'm gonna reserve some of this liquid just in case they dry out on me too much, and I wanna thin them out a little bit. The rest going down the drain. All right guys, I have my oil nice and flavored. The reason I'm throwing these away is because I'm gonna smash them and they're just gonna get in the way. And don't worry, most of the flavor is already inside the oil, so we don't have to worry about throwing food out. They did its job already. And that's why you wanted the big pieces, because you saw how easy it was for me to discard them. Okay, next, we're gonna do some beans. Shake them around. Okay, here I'm gonna go with my bean masher and just go to town. If you want these to be extra smooth, you can use an immersion blender, or you can just use a regular blender. And this is why we reserve some of this liquid. Just thin them out. You can use water if you threw it out, no worries. Give these a taste. Oh yeah, these are already seasoned from the can, so don't worry about adding more salt. I mean, you can if you want, right? But they're pretty spot on, honestly. And here, if you overdid it on your water, just let them simmer, and as the water evaporates, they'll dry out and they'll become more thick. And vice versa. If you made them too thick, add a little bit of water and just stir them up. That's the beauty of beans. They're very forgiving. For our purposes, I'm gonna let these reduce a little longer because I want these to be more thicker, because we're gonna put them on the tostada and I don't want them running all over the place. Meanwhile, our beans are finishing. I think our sauce is ready to blend. So let's get to it. Okay, this is what our sauce looks like after giving it time to simmer. The water is not completely gone, and that's okay. That's what we want. But the chilies are all nice and tender. Everything is incorporated. Let's blend it. With our sauce done, all we have to do is blend next. And like I always say, remember, when you guys are blending hot liquids, you guys always got to start on low, because that little steam explosion will go all over your face. So be careful when you're blending hot liquids. All right, so we're gonna go in. We're gonna go on low, and we're gonna start. Okay, y'all, the next step is we have to prep our onions. Tinga is heavily carried by onions, okay? I'm just gonna julienne some slices. I want them to be really thin, okay? Because we want this to be part of the sauce. We want it to like blend in. We don't want like chunky, right? So I want these to be thin, so when we caramelize them, they'll just fall apart. They'll blend into the sauce. And here I'm using the mandolin, but of course you guys could also use your knife. This tool just makes everything so much faster. All right, so we let our chicken cool down for about 20 minutes. This is not gonna burn your hands off, right? And all you're doing is shredding it, okay? You're grabbing a piece and you're just ripping it apart, pulling it apart. And you wanna go as thin as you can, guys, because this is really gonna contribute to the texture of the tinga. You really don't want like a big old pieces in there. It will make for a harder bite. And we pulled it off as soon as it was ready, and this chicken is still glistening. It's so moist. All right, so I'm gonna do all this, and then we're gonna get to building our sauce. Okay, so here I have my 3 components that I need for my tinga. I got my shredded chicken, I got my sliced onions, and I got my sauce. Pro tip, if you guys think your sauce is a little too thick, you can reserve some of the chicken stock you used to make the chicken in, and then just thin it out, okay? If you guys go over, you guys could also just let the sauce reduce when we're cooking it. So it's very forgiving. So don't worry if you add a little bit too much or a little bit too little. It's always fixable. Okay, next, we're gonna go in with our stove. We're gonna go in with our pan, and then we're gonna start caramelizing our onions. So let's go in with some oil in our pan. We're gonna let it get hot, and then we're gonna add our onions, and then we're gonna get some really nice color on them. We don't wanna burn these, so we're gonna go medium high. So here you guys want to remember to just stir your onions so they don't burn on you, because we want to get them all nice and an even color. And it looked like a lot of onions, right? But remember, there's a lot of water in onions, so these will reduce greatly. Okay, now that I have some nice color on my onions, they're not completely all the way caramelized, right? But that's fine, because we're gonna add our chicken and we're gonna keep cooking. And here, we're gonna add our sauce. Okay, at this point, I'm just gonna lower my flame to low. We're gonna cook this for 20 minutes. We're gonna let all these flavors get to know each other. All right, guys, my chicken has been going for 20 minutes, okay? A lot of the water has evaporated and it's just left us with this nice and thick sauce. Look at that. At this point, I'm gonna turn my stove off. And this is a pro tip. Let it sit 20-30 minutes more before serving. Let all those flavors get to marry and know each other. It'll really taste considerably better. Also, if you guys use this for a meal tomorrow, it's gonna be even better, because for some reason, braised meats always taste way better the next day. All that's left to do is to build, so let's get building. All right, now that everything is done, we can finally get to build our tostadas. And if you guys are unable to find tostadas, you guys could always fry your own tortilla. Okay, so we're gonna go with some beans at the bottom. That'll be our foundation. And always remember, guys, you guys control how thick or thin you guys want your beans. Okay, next we're gonna go in with our beautiful tinga. Look at this. Beautiful color on it. As little, as much as you want. For these, I will probably go a little on the lighter side because they are tostadas and they will break on you if you overload them. Beautiful. Next, we're gonna go in with some cheese. This is queso panela. Queso fresco also works. You want a mild cheese. And this is really fresh. It tastes so good. Next, we're gonna go in with some Mexican sour cream. You guys could always thin out your sour cream with some cream or some milk if you guys want it to be a little more pourable. Okay, now for the avocado. Pretty good, huh? So here I'm gonna cut the avocado. I'm gonna peel it to get some really clean slices on these. Look at that. Okay, and then just let our knife do all the work. Go in here and just fan it out. Make it look nice, make it look pretty. Beautiful. Okay, next I'm gonna garnish with some radish. Remember guys, your eyes eat first. It's important to make your food look very pretty. It's important to make it look appetizing if you wanna impress some guests, okay? And then just a little bit of cilantro just for some pop of color. There it is, let's taste. All right, let's see how we did. Grab one of my tostadas, dig into it. Cheers. Wow. Well, safe to say, I think we did pretty good. You know, this is really good. There's a lot of flavors here that work really well together, okay? You have the smoky chicken and then the sour cream and the cheese just cut through all that the spiciness and it just balances everything out. You have creamy beans, this avocado that's just so refreshing, and these radishes are not just for garnish. Actually, it tastes really good. And this is such an easy dish just to make ahead of time, okay? The chicken is gonna taste better the next day. So if you guys are worried about that, no worries. Just make it a day ahead, put it in your fridge, just warm it up. Beans are beans. Beans are gonna stay good for a week. My suggestion to you guys is to use a very stable tostada, something that's not really thin, a little thicker, so it could withstand all the sauce and all the beans. You want something that's gonna hold on to those bites. You see, I took 2 bites and it still is literally in half. It hasn't even broken on me. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm always down there if you guys need any extra help. I'll be more than happy to answer the questions. Peace out.